Woo, yes. Well, good morning. Well, I'm Minister Randy Lewis.
And I'm Nicole Kirk, and on behalf of our entire ministry team, welcome to All Souls.
And welcome to our online viewers and everywhere members watching from all over the world. We're so glad that you've decided to join us today. Now, if you're on Facebook or Zoom, please drop your prayer requests, joys, and concerns in the chat so that in a moment we can light a candle and hold space for you here in the sanctuary.
If you're a first-time visitor or you're new to All Souls, welcome. We have a special gift for you, and our ushers are bringing them down the aisles right now. So raise your hand and keep that hand up so they can find you and they can give you the gift.
Yes, people are coming on in. And after the service, you're invited to the Sonnen Library. It's right outside the sanctuary doors to the left there. It's a chance to meet one of our Welcoming Souls team member, to get to know you and to let you know about the great things that are happening in this community.
And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our invocation and covenant.
This is indeed a day that God has made. Let us then rejoice in it and be glad. Let us count our many blessings. Let us be grateful for the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand. Let us be grateful for the incredible gift of life. And let us be especially grateful for the ties of love that bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all our days.
Let us join together in our covenant. It's printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Welcome to All Souls, where we love beyond belief. Take your seat. Take a moment to greet someone near you.
Well, that's beautiful. Keep that welcome going after the service in our fellowship hall for some refreshments and our bookstore and all that stuff. It'd be nice to greet everybody after the service. Our chalice lighting today, our chalice lighter, I should say today, is coming to us from Chicago. One of our Everywhere members, Rebecca Lawson, affectionately known as Bex. And so she's going to light our chalice this morning.
Together, we kindle this chalice with open hearts. We recognize the miracle of life all around us. A child's laughter echoing across a room. The resilience of a flower blooming in the summer heat. The vast sky that covers us all. The digital connections, bridging continents, human courage, human compassion. We are one people, lighting one flame. The light of universal love will shine through us and among us, now and always.
How many of you love the mud? You have some bad experiences with mud. Some people don't like it at all. This is a story about Hosea Ballou, who lived over 200 years ago in a small house in a small town on the edge of a forest in the state of New Hampshire. And Hosea, like many of you, was always asking questions. Questions about what and why and how. And Hosea loved to play outside with his 9 older brothers and sisters, and his favorite season was spring, because in the spring it would rain and rain and rain, and then Hosea could jump in the mud. He liked it when it was soft and squishy, and he liked it when it was thick and sticky. He liked to jump in puddles hard with both feet and make the water splash really high. He loved to step in mud puddles very slowly so that the mud oozed up just a little bit at a time between his toes. Now you can imagine that not everyone in his family liked mud quite as much as Hosea did. See, his mother had died when Hosea was not quite 2, so his older sisters took care of him. 200 years ago, the gender roles were much more narrowly defined. His sisters, who did the laundry and scrubbed the family's dirty clothes in big wash tubs, did not like having to scrub all that mud off of Hosea's clothes, or off anyone else's clothes either, after Hosea had stomped in a mud puddle extra hard. His other older sisters, who kept the little children clean, didn't like having to scrub all that mud off Hosea. But his sisters loved him, so they took him home and washed him and dried him and made him clean. Then Hosea's sisters went to their father and said, "Father, please tell Hosea to stop playing in the mud." "Hosea," said his father very sternly, "you should not play in the mud." "Why?" asked Hosea, because asking questions was another thing he loved to do. "Because," said his father, who was one of the preachers in the Baptist church the family went to, "just as we try to live a good life, to be kind to other people, and to follow God's plan, we try to stay clean." "Yes, Father," Hosea said, and after that day he did indeed try to stay clean, but it wasn't easy. He stopped stomping in mud puddles, and he stopped making enormous mud pies, but sometimes the mud was just there. And then he had to walk through the mud to get across the yard to gather the eggs from the chickens, and sometimes he was already muddy from doing his chores, and he played in the mud just a little bit and got even muddier. His sisters, who loved him, took him home and washed him and dried him and made him all clean, but those sisters again went to their father and again said, "Father, tell Hosea to stop playing in the mud." "Hosea," said his father even more sternly, "you must not play in the mud." "Yes, Father," Hosea said. He was sad because he had truly tried not to get muddy, most of the time anyway. "Are you very angry with me, Father?" "I am disappointed in you, Hosea. I am a little angry with you." Hosea hung his head and kicked the dirt with his toes, and then he dared to look up just a little to ask, "Do you still love me?" "Hosea," said his father, and his father didn't sound stern at all anymore, "I will always love you, no matter what you do." "Even if I get muddy again?" "Yes." "Even if I get really, really muddy?" "Yes." "Even if I get mud all the way up to my eyebrows and between my fingers and toes and in my hair?" "Even then," his father said with a smile. Then he added very sternly again, "But remember, Hosea, you must try to stay clean." "I'll remember, and I'll try," Hosea promised, and he did. He stayed clean most of the time. And as he grew up, he stopped liking mud quite so much. But he still liked to ask questions about what and how and why. And one day, Hosea asked, "Father, if I had the power to create a living creature, and if I knew that creature would have a miserable life, would suffer and die and then go to hell, and be miserable forever, and I went ahead and created it anyway? Would that be a good thing or a bad thing? And would I be good or bad? His father didn't have answers for those questions. Hosea had to find answers on his own, so he read the Bible, a book with many stories about religious people and about God. He went to some Universalist churches and asked more questions there. And at the age of 19, Hosea decided that he believed in universal salvation, which is the idea that everyone, everywhere, will be saved from hell. And Hosea believed that God would not let would let everyone into heaven, good and bad. How can you believe that? Asked his father. How can you believe that God would let bad people into heaven? Because, Father, I remember what you told me when I was small. I believe that even if God is disappointed with people or even a little angry with them, God will always love them and want them to be happy, no matter what they do, and no matter how muddy they are. I invite our children and youth to come to Sunday school, where we will ask all of the questions.
In this moment, we open ourselves to the care and concern that we have for one another in this community. We are reminded that in times of difficulty, that there will always be a light that will show us the way and remind us of the possibility of hope and the abundance of love. We recognize in this community, as we gather each week, that none of us are alone. This morning, we light a candle for those who are recovering from illness, hospital stays, or facing new or continued health challenges. In particular, this morning, lighting a candle for Heather Lawson and Stephen Frazee. We light a candle for member Lindsay Sparks. Her mother has entered hospice care. I know it's been on very many people's minds, the people in Gaza, the children, the families, those who are very hungry and starving. We light a candle this morning. We light a candle this morning as well for those who have been victims of acts of violence, both near and far. I invite you now to name aloud someone you wish to include in this sacred moment. Lighting candles for those names spoken. And as always, There are names on our hearts that remain unspoken but not forgotten. And so I light a candle for them. If this is your first year of a loved one who has passed away, or if this Sunday is closest to the anniversary of a death of someone you love, we invite you to rise in memory and mourning until the spoken prayer begins.
You may be seated. Spirit of life, God of our strength and our hope, we come to this moment carrying many muddy transitions in our lives. A new diagnosis, a recent loss, a changed relationship, a job that ended, a dream that's just beginning. Some of us are grieving, some healing, and some are just trying to keep going. So God, this moment we pause. We pause together to breathe, to remember to open our hearts again. Root us now in love, that bold type of love, deep, healing kind of love. May it have the final word. Not the type of love that avoids the hard things, but the kind of love that shows up. The kind of love that speaks truth to power. The kind of love that holds on even when we want to let go, oh God. We're grateful for those in our movement who went before us, who believe that no soul should be left behind, that even the most lost could still be found. Help us, oh God, to carry that vision forward. Unite us. Help us not to win arguments, but to win souls. To live out a love that includes, that heals, and that transforms. Oh, give us courage, oh God, to love when it's hard. And it's been certainly hard these days. Help us with strength when we're so tired of being sick and tired. Let our faith be known not by what we believe, but how we show up and love out loud. Has there ever been a time we needed to love and really love? For our own sake and the sake of the world, it is now. May it be so. Amen and blessed be.
I breathe in, when I breathe in. I breathe, when I breathe in, when I breathe. Let's do that. Take a moment and feel your breath. When you take that breath in, peace. As you exhale, love. Love is surrounding us now. When I breathe in, when I breathe, when I breathe out, I breathe out. When I breathe in, when I breathe in. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy, sad of eyes, but very wise was he. And then one day he passed my way. While we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest thing you will ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. So let me ask you, how well are you listening to where love is leading your life? Or maybe I should ask, are you listening to where love is leading your life? My topic today is the love that will not fail. As the 90s pop song asked repeatedly, what is love?
Wait.
Remember that song?
Yeah. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
There you go.
Don't hurt me no more. What is love?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Me? No? Oh, all right. There were people around in the 90s. Some of us lived through it and still remember it. So they asked a group of 4 to 8-year-olds, what does love mean? The answers were broader and deeper and more profound than anyone could have imagined. Rebecca, who was 8 years old, said, when my grandmother got arthritis, she couldn't bend over and paint her toenails. So my grandfather does it for her all the time, even when his hands got arthritis too. That's love. When someone loves you, the way they say your name is different. You just know that your name is safe in their mouth, said Billy, age 4. Love is when a girl puts on perfume and a boy puts on shaving cologne and they go out and smell each other. That's what Carl, age 5, thinks love is. Or Chrissy, who is 6, said, love is when you go out to eat and give somebody most of your French fries without making them give you any of theirs. There's some wisdom in that. Now, another one, Danny, age 8, says, love is when my mommy makes coffee for my daddy and she takes a sip before giving it to him to make sure the taste is okay. Love is what's in the room with you at Christmas if you stop opening presents and just listen. Bobby, age 7. Nika, age 6, said, if you want to learn to love better, you should start with a friend who you hate. We need a few million more Nikas in this world. Love is like a little old woman and a little old man who are still friends even after they know each other so well. I think I see some people who resemble that remark in the sanctuary this morning. That was from Tommy, age 6. And then Cindy, age 8, said, during my piano recital, I was on stage and I was scared and I looked at all the people watching me and I saw my daddy waving and smiling. He was the only one doing that. I wasn't scared anymore. And the final one was a 4-year-old whose next door neighbor was an elderly gentleman who had recently lost his wife. Upon seeing the man cry, the little boy went into the old gentleman's yard, climbed onto his lap, and just sat there. When his mother asked what he had said to the neighbor, the little boy said, nothing, I just helped him cry. Love is a little like what the Supreme Court said years ago about pornography. It's hard to define it, but I know it when I see it. As those children express so delightfully, love can be hard to define, but we know it when we experience it. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling it right now. I always feel it when I'm at All Souls, especially in the sanctuary on Sunday morning. Now, one characteristic that differentiates All Souls and our larger connection and association to Unitarianism and Universalism from many other religions and other communities is that we find that the unfolding of truth to be an ongoing and a continuous process. And we understand that truth comes from many different sources. We don't say that truth is the exclusive property of any one scripture or any one prophetic tradition. We find that we can find truth and value in every religion and in every culture. And science, of course, continues to teach us more and more reliable truths about our world. So you probably know that American Unitarians and Universalists were two different traditions for over 150 years in this country, and then they merged in 1961. The Universalist side of this family began as Christians who stopped believing in hell. They could not believe in a God that would create people and then torture most of them eternally. It seemed like a very sadistic and unforgiving God. And like the children's story that Shannon told us this morning, how could our parents forgive us and love us no matter what, despite our failures, despite our sins, and yet this supposed supreme being was apparently less loving than we humans are? It didn't make sense, and it even seemed like an insult to God. Sure, fear of eternal punishment could perhaps cause some people to change their behaviors, but the Universalists felt that scaring people about God and death was not necessary or even very effective at creating an ordered and just and moral society. My colleague, Reverend Nancy McDonald Ladd, she wrote recently in a book, a lovely book called Love at the Center. Universalism was sometimes called the gospel of God's success. It was the idea that God was not going to fail in the human project. Reverend Gordon McKeon characterized it this way: the image was that the last unrepentant sinner would be dragged kicking and screaming into heaven, unable at last to resist the power and love of the Almighty. It was an abundant love that characterized God for these Universalists, not fear or punishment or exclusion. Most people at All Souls today do not think in terms of a God that's needed to redeem us from some original sin. And even though we all may have different ideas about what happens after we die, even those among us who have a concept of God are pretty clear that God has a larger job description than serving as the club bouncer who checks tickets at heaven's door. And while All Souls has been a place for 104 years in this community where many people have found ways to reimagine God or spirit in terms that make sense to them, that bring something positive into their life, an increasing number of people have come to feel that the notion of God and religious language no longer seems helpful or worth reimagining. Still, across all of our differences, different ideas and different beliefs within this community, one thing unites us. Whether someone believes in God or doesn't, there's still this idea that love is the answer. A goal of life is to learn to love and to be loved. Throughout life, people are tempted by lots of little gods of power, success, status, wealth, but all of them ring empty without love. Love is something that even after someone is gone, it still remains. I'm reminded of a true story that I read in a local newspaper before coming to Tulsa many years ago. It's a true story about a small town in New England. In this town, there was a darling, girl about 13 years old who was a chicken farmer. Now, there's a huge rock along the side of the main road as you enter this town. And one morning when the people woke up and they were driving to school or driving to work, they noticed that someone had painted on the rock, right on the side of the rock, it said, "Chicken farmer, I love you." Well, before long, everyone in the small town was talking about it. There was even a picture of it in the local newspaper the next day. But nobody admitted to painting it. There was a young boy who lived in a house across the way from the chicken farmer, and some people suspected it was him. But he never admitted it, and he never asked the girl out on a date. The rock became famous in this little town. As a matter of fact, people used to give directions. They'd say, "Now go down the road till you see this rock that says, 'Chicken farmer, I love you,' and then take a left and go right," and they would give directions using this rock. And this went on for years and years. And the paint never seemed to fade. It was as if every few years someone would come along and touch up the letters. Eventually, the chicken farmer graduated from high school, and she moved away to go to college. She ended up getting married and moving across the country. And then, out of the blue, one morning, as people were driving to work, they saw that someone had used black paint and had covered over the words, "Chicken farmer, I love you." Well, news of this spread fast, and the people in the town were not happy. As it turns out, there was a new police chief in town, and he thought the words, "Chicken farmer, I love you," were unsightly, and he had them paint over it. A few days went by, and people were still upset and disappointed, but they began to resign themselves to the reality. Until one morning, they woke up and saw that someone had painted in the same color with the letters the same size, the words, "Chicken farmer, I still love you." This sweet story always reminds me that even long after people are gone, love remains. A person can move away, can die, years can pass, new events and people can paint over the love and the memories, but the love that we have for someone lasts forever. That's why it's wise to be indiscriminate with our love. To love widely and to try to always choose love. Now, as you can imagine, people come to see me about all kinds of difficulties and decisions that they're facing in their lives. One of the main questions that I typically will ask someone is, what is the most loving thing you can do? Now, it's sometimes a harder question than it seems. One man who gave me permission to share his story came to me some years ago. He had the power of attorney for healthcare decisions for his mother. Now, at this point, she was being kept alive on life support and was no longer conscious. She told him years earlier that she did not want to be kept alive in such a situation. But his siblings were not okay with stopping medical assistance. He was in crisis, feeling that he had to honor his mother's wishes, but knowing it would probably end his relationship with his brother and sister, who said it would be unforgivable. Now, in the end, he decided the most loving thing to do in his situation was to wait and to stay in conversation with his siblings until they all could agree on what to do. When looking through the lens of love, he realized that the last thing that his mom would want is for her children to all become estranged due to her death. When she said that she didn't want to be kept alive on life support, she was saying that in part so as not to be a burden to her family. He decided, since she was not in pain, and since Lord knew she'd sacrificed a lot over the years for her children, that she would want him to wait so that her children would be able to have a caring, loving connection and relationship after she was gone. So he went back to his brothers and sisters and he said that he would honor their wishes and wait until they could all agree before making a decision. Now, in their case, it wasn't very long before the others came around to ending the medical assistance. He was very glad that he had made that choice. Of course, it doesn't always work out that well. Sometimes family members end up hurting or even hating one another. Sometimes we find that we did not make the loving choice when we had the opportunity. Even then, the question remains the same. Now, what would love have you do? I've sat with people who are holding lots of regrets. Sometimes all I can do is what that 4-year-old child did, whose elderly next-door neighbor had lost his wife. I don't literally climb onto anyone's lap, but I do just sit there and help them cry. I must admit, I have yet to sit with someone who regrets acting from a place of love. So I'll end where I began, with the same question. Are you listening to where love is leading your life? Actually, I take that back. I'm going to be more direct. I want you to listen to where love is leading your life, because that kind of love never fails. And you know what? I still love you. Amen.
If you look in your hymnal, hymn number 95, let's get that if you would, and if you'd rise and body your spirit. There is more love somewhere. The words are also on the screen. We'd love to do it both ways. Let's sing together. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace. Your voices sound wonderful. There is more peace. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. More joy. There is more joy. There is more joy. I'm gonna keep, yes, find it. There is more joy somewhere. Thank you. You may be seated.
Let's help others find more joy, more peace, more love in their lives. Here at All Souls, we are always working to directly face and to respond to the causes and impact of poverty on our communities. And one of the traditions of All Souls is to give away our offering to an organization in our community doing good works in the world so that we can live our values of love and service out into this broader community, out into the world. This week's offering goes to South Tulsa Community House. Now, the South Tulsa Community House serves families, it serves individuals to reduce hunger, to combat poverty, to provide a pathway to empowerment, to improve their lives through services and strategic collaboration. Please give generously when this offering plate comes around here in a moment. And I just have a couple of announcements to highlight for you this morning. Now, today and every Sunday is a joining Sunday. So if you're ready to become a member of All Souls, we want you to have that information about membership. If you're curious about membership but not ready to join, you can go up to room 203 after the service today at 11:15. Reverend Randy Lewis will be up there at 11:15 today in room 203 to talk about membership. Now, this is the final Sunday of our Lunch and Learn program. We have lunch available for affordable price, and rumor has it it's pizza. So, just saying. It begins after the second service, so you can linger a bit or maybe go and come back. But there's going to be lunch after the second service, affordable price, and an array of classes to enjoy with your community on this hot Sunday afternoon. We hope you'll stick around. And also visit the welcome table just outside the sanctuary doors for more information about the classes that are offered today. This is our last summer session. For all the upcoming events, all the programming, check out our website, check out Realm, the app, and see what's going on at All Souls. There is something for all of you. And now, I should say, we're going to take our generous offering for the South Tulsa Community House.
I see you, Dave. Love, love. Come on, Larry. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I hear some voices. All you need is love. All you need. All you need, all you need is love. Is that Reverend Randy? Love, 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 love. Give me this mic on. Love, love, love. I want to hear that voice, Greg. Come on. Love.
Love, love, love.
All you need, all you need.
All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all.
Love is all you need.
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 Love is all you need. Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you
Love is all you need.
need. You didn't know I could do that. Come on.
I love that. I love your energy, Randy, Reverend Lewis, and yours as well, Reverend Nicole. Well, don't we have a great team? These folks are so great. Of course, Matt on the keys, showing off those guns today.
Yeah.
We like that. And
Yeah.
Pastor David Smith, what a beautiful morning. I meant it when I said I could feel the love of this place. It's just such a wonderful thing to come in the midst of everything going on in the world. Randy mentioned a lot of it in his prayer, just things happening. There's just a lot that hurts, that's hard to see, hard to watch, scary and all that. But to just be here, be together, remember that life is precious while we have the breath of life within us. How can we share our love abundantly, the one thing that lasts even after death, the love we give away? It is a beautiful thing. They say Unitarianism was about, began with the idea of one God. Unitarianism, that was the idea. And then Universalism was God is love. So it was God is one for the Unitarians, God is love for the Universalists. And in 1961, they came together. And it's kind of like Bob Marley, one love, one love. So I feel it. I feel the love of this place. And I hope as you go forth on this day, by the way, if you're visiting, we've got just out in the Sonnen Library, please join us. We'll answer your questions and things that you might have just right out here to the left. Also, if you have children, since they didn't come back in yet, we kind of finished early. You just head down to the children's wing to pick up your children, or they'll probably be coming back as you go down there. And the rest of us will greet you at the door, and we look forward to enjoying some fellowship together. But as you go out into this world, give back the love that you found here to a bruised and broken world that's hurting in so many ways. Be the source of light and love that you can be. Go out in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, honor all life, but most of all, go and be blessed and be a blessing. Amen.
Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning and with the lights on. 3 little birds on my doorstep singing sweet song. Hell, it is good. This is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be yours. Have a wonderful day. Don't worry